Okay, thank you all for sticking around tonight. We're going to be talking about conflict resolution. I thought this would be a great topic to bring up because very frequently I have people come into my office and there's a lot of he said this, she said that, but we refuse to meet behind the ambulance or behind the fire trucks and work out our problems. And therefore it defaults somehow to my office. So we're going to talk about this tonight in hopes that we can no longer have to default to the highest level. The best thing to do in conflict resolution is solve problems at the lowest level professionally. So, two different types of personality types, and I'm sure you've all heard these, type A and type B. These are actually kind of going out of style, kind of out of the mental health spectrum right now, but it's very old and we all know it, so I decided to use this on the slide. Type A and type B personalities. Let's have a little discussion about each. Type A thrives on deadlines, multiple jobs at once, restless when inactive, highly competitive, strong personality. This doesn't sound like anybody in this room, does it? Is it safe to say that EMS, our career field, is probably full of people with this type of personality? Okay. It's one of the best parts of EMS and one of the worst parts of EMS. The best part, you get these people who are highly motivated, can handle multiple jobs at once, highly competitive, strong personality. Because what's that translate into? It translates into aggressive patient care. And we see results. We've all worked with people who do not have aggressive patient care, and you probably want to throw them out of the ambulance. If it works, you push them out of the way. I like to think that we all have this type of personality, or at least portions of this in us. We do a great job of saving lives because of it. Type B personality, a little more laid back, they're very methodical, they enjoy their leisure, easygoing, don't really need recognition for work. These are your bookworms, your introverts. We can all have a little bit of this personality in us as well. I'm sure everybody knows somebody with a type B personality. So, like I said, which personality type do you think dominates our career field? Feel free to pick up. A. Yeah, definitely. Which personality type are you? Everybody that's an A, raise your hand. Yeah, me too. Everybody that's an A.
I don't like those.
I agree. Brian's probably a type B. Everybody likes Brian. Nice guy. Best thing about type B personalities, everybody likes him. They're nice. What does that translate into? Our career field's full of type A personalities. Is that a nice concoction that's ready to pop at some time? When we all get out, we're all in an aggressive scene, or in a stressful environment. We all have that adrenaline running through us. We've all been on those calls where somebody gets a little overzealous and overexcited, ends up pissing everybody off. Right? So we'll talk about body language and behavior, unwelcoming body language, and I want you guys to kind of think when you get into a conflict, if you see something starting to arise, how everybody's standing or how you're presenting yourself. So unwelcoming body behavior, folding arms across the body, hands on the hips, very aggressive stance, a wide stance, just plain old aggressiveness, and people that are too direct. You know, one thing I hear people talk about sometimes is, well, I'm just blunt. I like it if I'm blunt. If you don't like it, get over it. I always look at that kind of person as, well, that's an excuse to just be a jerk. There's really no excuse for that. But we all know people that are like this, and a lot of us suffer from this ourselves at certain times. But one thing you don't really think about when you talk about unwelcoming body language and behavior are the more passive types. People that avoid eye contact, poor posture, and just slump over, and they're not very welcoming for people into their comfort zone. Fidgeting and speaking quietly. So while we think of those passive types as being nice people and women we heard fly, at the same time, it's not really welcoming body behavior. It's not somebody who's going, come on in, let's sit down and have a beer. It's somebody that says, avoid me. I don't want to talk to you, right? What happens when type A and type B get into Who wins? Type A wins by dominance. They don't necessarily win the conversation, they just win the immediate battle. Somebody gets thrown out of the ring. Welcoming body behavior. I'd like to think the way that I'm standing right now, standing straight, composed, somebody who smiles, somebody who acknowledges the other person's opinion, makes eye contact with people. Another word for all of this would be somebody who is engaged in the conversation. Causes of conflict. People have different goals, different ideas, differing opinions. They just realize they screwed up. People who have differing behaviors. Preventing conflict. Assess the traits of the people that are involved. Every one of us in here is different. We've all got different personalities. So when you're engaging with somebody else or with a group of people, you commonly hear people say, if you're going to be doing public speaking, you need to read the room. Well, I can read the room right now. Everybody's relaxed. Everybody's chilling. Pretty cool. However, I've had meetings in this room before, and so has the fire chief, where everybody's leaning forward and they're aggressive, and one foot's going, and the back aisle of the room is full of people. When we walk in here, and I know you know what I'm talking about, when we come into a meeting and the back row is full, we know it's going to be a bad meeting. Because people are aggressive, they're negative, they're avoiding. Which is why if you want to make a difference, sit up front. Force people to sit up front and take a little bit of a different vantage point. So, reading the room, unwelcoming or welcoming personality types. Assess if people are introverts or extroverts. Go ahead and read their body language. Some people aren't quite as good at reading body language as others, but I like to think that comes with age and with time, and probably with law enforcement experience. And then assess their communication skills. I think that one's very important because I like to think a lot of us, particularly in EMS and maybe even in fire, we have a lot of thoughts going through our head at one time. And we know what we want to say, and we know what we want to convey, but we can't make it fall out of our mouths. And would you guys agree with that? Yeah. So, assessing communication skills, this is somebody's not talking to you or they're saying something that you don't agree with. Think about what it is that you're trying to say or how they're saying it, or if you're giving them the ability to express what they want to say. In short, put the brakes on, stop, back up, take a look at the situation. Realize, is this person being aggressive, or am I not letting them speak?